glad that's over.
Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into what I'm calling the Shotty Swaps build. So for the archetypes, I've got the Hunter up here as my primary with the Hunter's Mark skill, and I've got the Gunslinger over here as my secondary with the Sidewinder skill. Now this build does not function very well without Sidewinder. It's an absolute must for this. You can kind of play around, see if there's something that you like a little bit better in the archetypes for your primary. I just like Hunter for the raw damage, but the Sidewinder you absolutely have to have. Over to the armor, nothing really special here, it's just some medley of armor that I think looks kind of cool together. And then, for the relic, I am still running the Shielded Heart with the Mythic Range Critical Damage, Range Critical Chance, and Range Damage Augments within. Now, on to the core of this build, which is actually going to be both the weapons and the amulet. So, for the primary, I am once again running the Spore Bloom long gun, and I am running the Ghost Shell Mutator on it, which after 3 consecutive weak spot hits, increase the damage of the next weak spot hit by 40%, and it's also going to increase weak spot critical chance. It's going to be very, very valuable for pumping out those big numbers. And for the secondary, I am running the Double Barrel, and I'm running the Song of Aether mod on here just to help me with my AoE mob clear. You could probably run something like Hot Shot on here if you want to do a little bit more damage to a single target. And then for the Mutator, I'm running Momentum, which is this weapon scores a critical hit. It increases critical chance and critical damage by 3% for 3 seconds, maxing out at 10 stacks. And at level 10, critical hits from this weapon add 2 stacks, and it increases their duration by 2 seconds. Now, these two are going to work really, really well together, Ghost Shell and Momentum, because we're going to be constantly swapping between these two weapons. As you saw during the DPS demonstration, you're going to have a medley of buffs going on, and it's going to help keep your damage up, and it's going to help keep your damage up even when Sidewinder is down. So over to the amulet. This is absolutely critical for this build. This is the Onyx Pendulum. So firearm damage adds stacks, which increases the damage of the stowed firearm by 2.5% for 15 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. This works really well with this build because you're constantly swapping weapons. So basically you fire, you swap, you fire, you swap, you fire, you swap, and you're going to be building the damage for either weapon as you're firing. And by the time Sidewinder wears off, you're going to be almost at 10 stacks for both weapons. It's going to be very, very close, and if you keep up some sort of pattern at which you're swapping your weapons while you're out fighting, even after Sidewinder's down, you should be able to keep this buff up pretty much at all times. Over to the rings, I'm running the Outcast ring for the increased reload speed after reloading. Now this will be procced by Sidewinder, which is why I like it so much, because coming out of Sidewinder, you will have the additional 25% reload speed, which is super, super helpful because both of your weapons are single shot, well, one's a double shot, but single shot weapons effectively. On to the next ring, I've got the Zania's Malice here again for the increased weak spot damage. I've got the Fey Hunter ring, increasing the range of all my firearms by 30%, and that's just because I'm running 2 shotguns, and if something's far away, I still need to be able to hit it. And then I'm running the Probability Cord for the increased crit damage. Over here to the traits, really nothing surprising. Long shot and ammo reserves coming from the archetypes. I've got Swiftness for the movement speed, Untouchable for the evade window, Regrowth for that passive health generation, Vigor for the additional health, Expertise for the skill cooldowns, because like I said, Sidewinder is incredibly important for pumping out that DPS. Handling for the reduced weapon spread is really what's important here, not so much the recoil, and Fitness for the increased evade distance. And that will do it for the build. So as always, if you guys have any comments or suggestions, just let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time.